Well, I guess everyone else has probably done their fall and winter scent thing, so I'm gonna do my what fragrances I'll be wearing more this fall and spring. Some with a bit of an asterisk mark because I only got like a little sample of it, you know what I mean? But you get the idea. I got a good mix of, I made a little list. I got a good mix of like designer and niche, so I think there's about 20. So let's get into these. The first I'll be wearing a little bit more this fall, or I guess it's actually kind of winter now. Did I say fall and spring? I meant fall and winter. Video's already messed up, but we're going one take. Heck yes. First one I'll be wearing is what I got my last unsolicited compliment on it. Of course, Montal fragrances are pretty powerful. They project pretty well. So I'll say Vanilla Absolute. I did get a compliment on this when I was out recently. I know I was out and there's like a few people around me, and some girls were like, "Whoa, what does that vanilla smell like? Who? What is that? Who is someone wearing vanilla?" And it was like kind of like slowly raised my hand. It was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, is it too much? I don't normally wear this one." And they're just like, "Oh no, who doesn't like vanilla?" And I was like, "Oh, sweet, okay." Vanilla Absolute. I've actually said I have gotten slightly negative feedback on it that it smells too chocolatey because it is vanilla and woods, sometimes when they mix together, they can smell kind of chocolatey potentially. And, I've had people say that they like chocolate greedy. They like, love from by Killian, they like whatever. But Vanilla Absolute is one that, with the asterisk mark, I should say that I have had people say that it is too much of one thing. And I even can say myself, it is a fragrance that if it's not a good health day, which who knows how a day is going to be, I guess, but it is so strong. I've said before, it's one of the few fragrances myself that I've actually had to wash off because it was just too much and I couldn't deal with it. I was not feeling good. So that's, and of course, there's other Montals like, uh, Sweet Vanilla. I love that one. And of course, Dolces and Fundo. They're almost very similar. So if you like those kind of fragrances, and I know some people are probably wondering, no, I still have not smelled the new Montal's Intense Cafe, the new version of it. Still haven't got around to smelling that, and I still haven't gotten around to smelling. They have that Baccarat Rube, whatever, 540 clone. Them and Mansara still haven't smelled those, so I can't say how those are smelling. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but on that subject, has anyone actually smelled the new amber one from Mansara? It's supposed to be whiskey and amber. I'm looking forward to smelling that one eventually. Okay, so besides that, get into some like some potentially novelty, a little bit of a novelty tinge. Kerosene's a blackmail. I love how that smells. Basically smells like, fall kind of has a smell. Like you ever like, even in the woods or you smell like maybe a neighbor is burning leaves. Like I just imagine that fall smell and someone is like burning something and the smoke that is in that fall air, it's like a berry smell that's like bringing you in closer to this kind of like vanilla marshmallow. You know what I mean? Just great berry smoke coming from in fall that's bringing you into a vanilla smell. It smells so good. It smells awesome. And has a little bit of a novelty tinge because it's a little bit harsh. So it makes it kind of fun, I think, even though it's a lot of money. Bois de Seize is another kind of novelty scent that I think can be fun in the fall and spring, or fall and winter. Smells like charcoal. You just, you know what I mean? Campfire or something. There's just the charcoal left or something, or like I don't know, a grill. Kind of weird, but kind of fun, I guess, for this time of year. So Boada says, what else did I put? Oh yeah, Nasamoto's Baronda. Nasamoto's Baronda, however you say it. Basically, kind of like the daddy version of pure malt, I guess. Maybe the boyfriend brings home the girl he wears pure malt. She goes out. The dad is like, he's at a campfire later on. He's made like a mug out of the campfire, and it's like glazed even from like some like apple cider. And she is just like, it's got a lot of novelty to it too. You know what I mean? And that makes it fun, and it's a little bit harsh. So again, it's got a bit of that novelty factor to it. I definitely, I've been thinking about getting a healthy decant of that. So Baronda, that's a good one. I've done reviews of that before. Also, By the Fireplace, pretty cliche one. Generally, people like that. I have had more girls say that they like that not too long ago, and of course, I don't really care for it too much. But they also mentioned it like jazz club, I guess, if you care about compliments, I guess. Right? Another one I'm gonna say, I want to get if anyone has a good price on this, we'll probably get a good decant of this. I gave a review about this one not too long ago. kind of growing on me the more I've worn it a little bit. Dolce & Gabbana's Amber Sun. Kind of describe that one as you walk into like a wooden area, whatever, and maybe you get like a ice cream bowl out of like an amber kind of colored see-through glass or something like that. Maybe you have a wooden incense spoon and you're eating the ice cream and it's kind of like melting into it. And you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a smoke and incense is coming up and like there's a little amber. The amber is kind of like melting into the ice cream and the wood is melting into this ice cream that you're making because it's hot. I don't know. It does have a lot going on, so it can smell a little bit weird, but when I kind of like, it started growing on me. I like it. So that's another one. For designer ones, you know what I mean? Let's add a few designer ones. 1 million Privé. Uh, I like it more than the original 1 million. 1 million Privé. It's got kind of that, I think I like it more, I said before too, than, people compare these kind of like apple cinnamon pie things, you know what I mean? But it's kind of got like that red cherry, kind of smells like a bit of that red cherry, some kind of red cherry bubble gum. It's kind of like it was like the fake stuff when you were a kid, like chewing tobacco bubble gum or some cherry like that. Um, Kind of very buttery tonka bean, um, kind of that apple cinnamon thing. It's pretty good. Sometimes it smells a little bit too jammy on me, but generally pretty good. Also, I guess it's winter Armani Code Profumo. I said there was a time I was getting a lot of compliments on that. I guess I haven't worn it in a while, but the past handful of times I've worn it, I haven't gotten any crazy reactions, but there was a time that was giving me a lot of compliments, so I should probably try to wear it a little bit more. It's getting winter again. Pure malt again, if you like Terry Mugler stuff, pure malt. Smells different, good performance, demands attention. I've heard that potentially maybe the Terry Mugler stuff is getting reformulated. I don't know. Maybe it makes me think maybe I should buy a backup or something like that. Who knows, right? But pure malt's a great one, great compliment getter too. Of course, there's also pure Tonka if you like that. I like that as well. House of Sillage, I like that a lot. House of Sillage is #1. It's the cherry whipped cream, the boozy one, kind of with like a wooden incense stick. That's a great one. Good compliment getter. Also potentially very, very strong as well. So good. Well, I don't know about good bang for your buck, but it's performing at least considering the price, right? New Harlem, that's another one. Man, I don't think I ever wear this one during the summer. Novelty-ish, smells like, breakfast. Pretty much breakfast, everything besides pretty much everything besides the coffee, I feel like, honestly. It smells a lot like, kind of got like even a French toast kind of smell with maple syrup, which I forgot to mention that when I was in Japan. I don't know if I got a bad thing, but I did try French toast in Japan. I was not impressed. Not a big French toast fan in the first place, but I was like, let me try some French toast in Japan, and it was one of the only disappointing things I've eaten in Japan. French toast in Japan was whack. I got to tell you, I was not very impressed by French toast in Japan. It was pretty much just bread, dude. And Japan usually has amazing bread, so I don't know what's up with that. Grand Soir from MFK, great amber scent. The original Le Mans, I have a not OG bottle, but by today's standard, I feel like my bottle is probably almost 10 years old, so it's pretty old. But Le Mans, it's a good one. It's one of those fragrances. It's one of the few fragrances I find that people are like, oh, everyone wears this, but even like probably, oh yeah, my dad wore this, or my old boyfriend wore this, or my brother wore this, or some bullshit, but people still like it. I think it smells good too. Winter's one of the only times I wear it because it is very strong. Uh, I hear it keeps getting reformulated, and maybe it's not as good, but I haven't had any bad things with it, I guess. Um, I do like a lot of By Killian fragrances, so if I was going to lean towards any By Killian fragrance this year or winter, I guess it might be Amber Oud. I heard that has been discontinued, but again, that's a good kind of like, fireplace suite. It's kind of like they lit the fire with some alcohol. I like how all the By Killian stuff, they have a lot of, they always kind of have like an alcohol tinge to it, and I think it makes it fun considering how much money they are, because you got to have a little extra to make it feel like it's worth it, you know what I mean? Besides that, I've heard that the Light My Fire has been discontinued as well. I don't know if that's true, but that sucks because I like that one as well. What else can we do? Dark Rebel, good daddy mode, a very cheap daddy mode kind of fragrance. You know, if you like that kind of thing. Initio fragrances. I've said this before. I'm very fucking pissed. All these reviewers got fucking free bottles of all these Initio fragrances, and they wouldn't even send me a fucking sample. Pretty salty about that. That sucked because I liked it, but I had to buy with my own money. But Initio stuff, man, side effect is great. Looking for a decant of that thing when it's a cheap one. I know I just got in one of the Facebook groups. I got like another decant of Rehab. In my opinion, if you care, which again, of course, Spice Bomb Extreme would be a good one for winter and fall as well. But in the Spice Bomb comparisons, I think that Rehab smells more like the original Spice Bomb. But in terms of what smells the best, Rehab, then Spice Bomb Extreme, then the original Spice Bomb. But yeah, Spice Bomb Extreme basically smells like a very smells like 1 million, I think, almost mixed with 1 million mixed with the original Spice Bomb, with more of a tobacco kind of feel like that. I think it feels like. So that, and then finally, let's go with the final one, Tom Ford. Tom Ford's always a good time. Always a good time. That's not kind of, is Tom Ford always a good time? I don't know. I'm not gay and I've never met him, so I'm not sure if he's always a good time. But who knows? Who knows? Let me know in the comments. Maybe he is. But no, Tom Ford fragrances, you know what I mean? They do a lot of dark stuff good. So, of course, there's, I love Tobacco Vanille. Great one of my favorite fragrances ever. Tuscan Leather. For what it's worth, I actually have had a number of girls say that they like ombre leather since it's been out. They like ombre leather actually more than Tuscan leather. I've heard that a number of people actually. Man, some girl, she gave me such a interesting compliment and a commentary on what she thought of ombre leather that it was one of those things. It sounds stupid. She gave such a eloquent of what she thought it smelled like. I can't tell you what she said. I was just so confused. I was just like, it wasn't just like it was as good. She just like, oh, I like this because it smells like. She just said something so weird and random, and I was like, whoa. I wish I fucking I can't I should have tried to remember for the video. She gave some kind of compliment and a commentary on what she thought it smelled like. I was like, wow, damn. I was like, well, okay. I was like, shit. I wish I could remember what she said, but anyway, she liked the ombre leather. And of course, I like it a lot. Amber Absolute. Amber Absolute is great. It smells great in the air, dude. That amber frosting, you know what I mean? Man, what a great smell, Amber Absolute. So those are some fragrances I'll probably be wearing more this fall and winter. It's kind of already winter, but I'll be trying to wear a little bit more of those. Some with a little bit of an asterisk mark because I only got little samples of them. So I've been trying to get some more decants of this shit to wear it more. But anyway, keeping my channel active fragrance-wise. The end.